On today's show of the Real Recovery Podcast, we bring you an extra. The Real Recovery Podcast is taking time for the holidays, so there's no regular episode this week. Instead, we're reflecting on gratitude, family, and the importance of connection during Thanksgiving and Native American Heritage Day. Peter and Julie share heartfelt moments from their year, the impact of the podcast, and highlight past episodes featuring voices from Indigenous communities. Join us for this uplifting holiday message.
Hello, and welcome to the Real Recovery Podcast. I'm Julie, your co-host. On this journey of healing and transformation, together with my co-host Peter, we dive into the heart of recovery, sharing stories that resonate with courage and inspiration.
That's right, Julie. Each episode is a new chapter in this vast narrative of recovery, and we're honored to bring them to you. But keep in mind, the perspectives you'll hear are for informational purposes only and may not reflect the views of the podcast or our partners.
Indeed, while these conversations can be a powerful part of your recovery toolkit, they are not substitute for professional medical advice. We encourage you to seek guidance from your healthcare provider for any treatment-related decisions.
And if you're facing an immediate crisis, or if you just need to talk to someone who understands, don't hesitate to call the Recovery Crisis Line at 503-223-8569. That number is also on our website. Help is available 24/7.
Now let's begin our episode
of recovery, real recovery. Hello, this is Peter with the Real Recovery Podcast.
Hi, this is Julie.
And this episode is going to be the day after Thanksgiving, which is the Native American Heritage Day. And because of Thanksgiving, we took the day off so that we could spend it with our family.
Amen.
And family meaning?
Extended family of choice.
Yeah.
Family means so many things to me. My family is very far away. My blood
family, yeah.
Yeah, my family of choice is my foundation.
Yeah, if you've listened to our show, that this is something that has been around for a while, the concept of having a family of choice. But I'm also very lucky to have living and blood family that I can share the day with as well. So that means a lot to me too. And so a bit about gratitude.
It's also Gratitude Month this month.
Yeah. Before we get into the Native American Heritage Day, what are you grateful for as in regards to this podcast and how we are? And let's see, we're on 40. This will be 40 episodes.
I don't want to cry. This has been a year. For me, so many changes. And I don't like change, but these have been all good changes. Celebrating my 10,000 days sober.
Yeah.
Which, how blessed am I? I was at a little meeting last night and it's 10,044 last night. So we were going by days and celebrating 30 years out of prison.
Yeah.
Celebrating my time off. I'm going to have Thanksgiving and Christmas off this year. I worked for Sprint for almost 20 years. We were open 365 days. And my last working adventure swamped.
Oh, I remember the year you put in 60 hours in 1 week, maybe even more. And that was over the holidays.
So again, I'm just really excited. My sponsor, who I call my dad, last year, perfect example. I bought the tickets for the sparkly lights at the grotto and I was too tired to go.
Yeah. Well, not this year.
Not this year. I'm going. And my sponsor has me designated for about 20 things. And he's so happy I'm off work. I'm so happy I'm off work. So I'm really going to take the time to enjoy this and live it like it's my last one, even if it's not. I do feel better that if last year at this time would have been my last day, it really wouldn't have been as joyful. Does that make sense? And I've learned a lot from the podcast. Yeah. I think the podcast has been one of the most wonderful things that has ever happened to me in recovery, and the most wonderful people
Oh, it's food for my soul. I was thinking about that the other day. It's like my soul has grown with all of the stories that and the people that we've had in our various studios, including Studio H, which is where we're coming to you from right now.
Studio H is my favorite and closest to the house.
Yeah.
But all the places we've gotten acquainted with, my new wardrobe. I keep saying this, but I love recovery sweatshirts and matching shoes. But I hope we don't want to forget anyone, but there's been some people that have just been so outstanding to us.
Yeah.
Izzy with GTD, 4D, and Tony Venzia's crew. Amanda from True Colors, my favorite sweatshirt. Just in the last 2 days, we got familiar with Arbor House and Oxford House.
Yeah.
Our home group lunch bunch. I can go on and on.
Yeah.
Another chance.
I'm like you. I don't want to leave anybody out.
Yeah, Celia.
And every person that we've had on the podcast, for sure. I'm so grateful to everyone who's been vulnerable and shared their intimate stories and experiences with the idea that it's going to help somebody out there. And I know it has, because I've had some feedback from people who've been affected by our show. So that to me, if one person was helped, that means the world to me. That makes it all worthwhile. And we want to continue doing this for as long as we can. So I'm looking forward to next year.
We're going to get funding next year, Peter.
I'm looking forward to that so that we can continue on. And I do have to shout out you were talking about people that sparkle. One person that sparkles in particular for me, Skylar Ray. He was just so incredible.
What am I wearing today?
I know.
Right
you got
now.
the sweatshirt on.
I have on the We Do Recover sweatshirt in rainbow, Skylar. One of my favorites.
Just his energy, and he's just an incredible person. And I also been watching some of his podcasts on YouTube that he does with another friend, and he's just an awesome individual. So I'm so glad that I got to meet him and have him now as part of my circle of friends. And my home group, which is the Lunch Bunch, is just it's got a place in my heart, and everybody in there just touches me every time I'm there and we're together. So, and the fellowship that comes with that. So
I want to give a shout out to extended family, which is just the Lunch Bunch at nighttime.
Yeah.
And because I'm so busy, or if I was working, extended family has been extremely great. And when you said you hope the podcast helps someone, and it has.
Yeah.
I was in IOP for 3 of the months that we were recording this year. And for those of you who don't know IOP, it wasn't prison. It's intensive outpatient. And I went there sober and by choice. And for me, the podcast has helped me process a lot of trauma and memories that I had suppressed for a lot of years. And you too, Peter, won't mention that memory, but that memory was a lot for me. And I don't know, having you, IOP, therapy, and the podcast.
Right.
I don't feel it like I did at all. I feel like I've moved through it.
Yeah.
And it's only taken, 27 years? Amen. But we're there.
Yeah.
And hopefully I'll be able to help someone else.
Exactly. And not to get too mushy, but I am so grateful for having my podcasting partner, Julie, in my life. My sister from a different mister.
And my brother from another mother. And I love Peter's mother. Just shout out to Rosemary. And had we not been celebrating Father's Day together as a family, this podcast wouldn't even exist. It just shows you your family of choice.
Yeah.
And whatnot. And do know that Peter might be able to do this without me, but the technical stuff and all that stuff is because of him. So I'd like to think we're a tag team championship.
We are. Yeah, there's no way it would be what it is today. And I probably wouldn't have even, had I not met you at the time. The timing and all of it just came together. It was meant to be.
Because I came up with the name and the domain wasn't taken.
Yeah.
How crazy is that?
Yeah.
And it's just crazy. And real recovery is really what we do.
Yeah.
There's no fakeness about us. It's the truth.
Yeah.
These stories are real, honest stories of people's recovery.
Yeah.
And
our guests are amazing. Just
and
to
vulnerable.
I think about myself, and when I have to speak in front of 10 people at a meeting for 10 minutes and I'm like sweating bullets and I don't want to do it. And these people are sharing their heart and soul for an hour at least every episode with the world. That takes, I remember when we decided in the beginning that we wanted to be fully open with our stories. And I was freaking out. I was like, I said it before, I'd rather be naked on a stage in front of a theater full of people.
I think that was extremely scary. One of the scariest things I've ever done. I think prison was easier. I'm not joking. Then I've always kept my professional life away from my recovery life. There are few circumstances where they exchange, but I will tell you, I think that every episode we do, that parts of my story, I'm more open to share than I was.
Right.
Yeah. And you haven't heard her episode yet, but last night's episode with Erin.
Yeah.
Living in the crawl space. Erin and I have always connected. And her story last night, every story touches my heart. And then some move my soul.
Yeah.
Yeah. And soul. Some unconditional, understanding love.
I love that. That's cool.
Ladies told it to me in a meeting this week.
We hope you all have had a good Thanksgiving, because this is coming out afterwards. And we hope that your holidays are filled with lots of gratitude, and that if you are out there and you feel like you're alone, there are meetings that go 24 hours a day.
Lano Club.
Yeah, we have on our resource page, we have links to there's the East County Alano Club out here in Gresham. There's the West Portland Alano Club. So there's places to go. And so don't be alone. We are such a great community. There's so much hope. There's so much love. There's so much passion. It's just a blessing to be a part of it all. And I can't wait to see what next year brings us, because this year was so unexpected in all the things we got to do, the events we got to partake in, that we were asked to partake in, that we were given tables at.
We actually got one more, and I'm so excited. We'll be with Bo and Mike Marshall and Robert Sanders, and we're going to be at the We Do Recover for Oregon Recovers Gala, and I'm so excited about that. Robert Sanders, meeting him.
Oh my gosh, incredible
one of the
guy.
kindest souls. And Mike has been a pioneer here in the recovery world. And I wrote him in for District 1. So there you go on my ballot.
I love it. And being National American Heritage Day, I did want to bring up that we have several episodes that you can listen to.
That are amazing.
Yeah. Jerrod Murray, he's the founder.
Executive director, Painted Horse.
Yeah, it's an amazing organization. And also Melissa Hereford's, her episode is episode 32. And she was one of my favorites, where she talked about being two-spirited. And that just resonated with me. I love
Melissa's real. Like, I love her presence.
Yeah.
Okay. And she's my kind of girl. You know what I'm saying?
You could feel her two spirits for sure.
Yeah. No, she's authentic, I guess is the word I'm looking for.
Yeah.
Know?
And she works with 4D. And then we were at the Out in Recovery conference, and the keynote speaker, Kristina Padilla, and she's a Native American who talked about being two-spirited and the heritage. And that was an awesome keynote. And then we also had her on our extra episode, and that's the episode 36.1.
We were lucky. She spent a lot of time with us.
Yeah. She was full of energy. Oh my gosh.
She is. She reminds me of Sky. She's her passion is contagious.
It is. Yeah.
And I really think if you have the time, listen to those. Each story has a different thing.
Yeah.
Like a different part. All of it has recovery.
I learned about Wellbriety meetings, which I never knew about.
Neither did I.
And they embrace the Native American culture in their meetings, in their practices. Oh, and then at the Recover Out Loud, boy, I hope I'm getting these names right.
You are.
They're so close.
I'll let you know if you slip that.
They had the drummers there, and that was awesome to see.
Peter and I got to maybe we'll post some of these pictures, but we got to get our picture taken with them in full dress.
Yeah.
And it was amazing. And we also got painted horse sweatshirts and T-shirts. Like when I tell you my recovery gear is like getting on point, it really is. And I'll trade in the high heels business suits for recovery gear any day.
Yeah, exactly. So thank you everyone who's listening and who's following us. And be sure to check out those previous episodes. And all the episodes are for great stories on recovery. We have
some really exciting ones coming up too.
Yeah, we've got awesome ones. So stick with us. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed, and subscribe to our newsletter, because that's where you'll get all the info on everything we're doing and where we're going to be and where we're at and so on. And thank you all for being a part of the Real Recovery Podcast.
Yeah. And one last thing, if you've made too much money this year and you need a tax write-off, seriously, we've survived on very little this year.
Yes.
And
not even an episode's worth of income.
Correct. It costs us over $1,000 for each episode. And we're looking for people to sponsor an episode or do what they can. We appreciate it.
Yeah. And when this comes out, it'll be the next week? We'll be Giving Tuesday. So think of us on Giving Tuesday. We'd appreciate it.
Thank you.
Love you all.
Happy holidays.
Happy holidays. That's a wrap on today's episode. Thanks to each and every one of you for lending us your ears and hearts. Your engagement is what fuels our passion and keeps this podcast thriving.
We cherish the moments we share here and hope they resonate with you, whether you're on a daily commute, at the gym, or just taking a moment for yourself.
Make sure to head over to our website at realrecoverypodcast.com. While you're there, subscribe to our newsletter for the latest insights and uplifting stories from our community delivered straight to your inbox.
Click that subscribe button on your favorite podcast player too, so you can keep up with every new episode. It's your support that keeps our conversation alive and meaningful.
And if our stories have touched you, consider using the donate button on our site. Your contributions, no matter the size, are deeply appreciated. They help us continue our mission of sharing hope and healing.
Join us beyond the podcast and follow our journey on social media. Find us on Instagram, Facebook, and on X, formerly known as Twitter. All the links are on our site, so you can stay connected and be a part of the Real Recovery community every day.
Your likes, shares, and comments not only spread the message of recovery, but also remind us that we're all in this together.
So, until we meet again, remember that recovery is a journey, not a destination, and we'll be here to accompany you every step of the way to recovery, real recovery.
Thanks for listening.